Hello, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Brody, the Steals from Pack Battles channel. I was just gonna say some stuff in a YouTube comment about a certain topic, and then I kind of remembered that I could do that here on the channel. I'm not just another voice in the chat and the comments like you guys. I forgot I'm making content, or at least I should remember to make content more often. So I decided to just turn on the camera, say something real quick, what I was going to say in the comment here instead of there. So the video I was watching was about scalping, scalpers, and the whole situation. We're all, we're living in it. We see it every day. It's just regular for us at this point. Due to this set blowing up that you can see behind me here, and Pokemon, as well as the future sets that are going to be great as well. But there's a lot more to the hobby than just that. There's more sides to this than what can be described as easily in a small video. I'm going to try to do it myself, just putting together the same thoughts I've been putting together comment-wise. So first of all, a little exposition about myself. I got back into Pokemon cards around 2018. I was just leaving Magic the Gathering. I had fun playing that game, but after seeing how expensive deck building was, I was not interested anymore in trying to be a serious Magic player, because I like to think that I am a competitive person, and I like to do things as best I can and know that I'm optimized to the top of what my card's abilities are. Can't do that without spending $500+. Maybe, let's say a safe budget for a Magic the Gathering deck would be like $700 to $800. So I left Magic and I started kind of thinking about not even picking up another card game, but I was buying Pokemon packs because I saw the value in it and I loved it as a kid. Originally, I'll admit, I sort of started dabbling with the thought of reselling some of these packs. Because it was pretty simple to find out what products contained what packs. I'm like, okay, everybody wants XY evolutions. They're paying $10, $15 a pack for it. If I buy these particular Pokeballs that I know have those packs in it, I can just sell off the evolutions pack, make back the money from the Pokeball, and then I have Ancient Origins and Sun and Moon base, or what other packs to rip, so I get 2 packs, and I get to sell them. I never got around to selling any of those packs. I just kept buying products, ripping them open, taking the packs, and putting them in a box. And one day, I decided I wanted to open one of those packs. So I opened one of those packs. And from that moment, me opening that Sun and Moon...
A few moments later.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was Team Up. Jesus. Sun and Moon Team Up. And I pulled the Rainbow Rare Pikachu and Zekrom GX. I was hooked. I got back in. I wasn't playing immediately, but I was ripping packs. At that time, I didn't know what was really happening to me. I thought I was just in love with Pokemon again. And that these cards had just taken a hold of my little mind, just like they had when I was a child. But what was really happening was I was in the grips of gambling addiction, masquerading as childhood nostalgia. That is dangerous. We'll talk about that another time. But that is more factual with what was happening. But besides that, I was having a good time. And then, within the following years, we hit the lockdown boom. That one was bad. It was hard finding product, but I was finding it. I was finding it no problem because I was putting myself out there to find it. And I always found something to rip. I always found what I wanted to rip. Almost always. Because it was out there. There was not as many people as you would like to think were out there in the boom. And that's why I can say that this boom is definitely a lot larger. Because there are a lot more people out there that are buying retail and hunting retail. And if they are scalpers or not, we can't say, but people are hitting the streets The last boom, I was hitting the streets, and I gotta tell you, I felt like it was more competitive, but I was finding stuff. And it wasn't like I would go to store after store after store after store. It was, I go to a store, think I found something, I get a little something. And there's other stuff I'm leaving behind because this is what I want. Go to the next store, big score. Go to the next store, nothing. Go to the next store, found something. That's not today. This boom is considerably larger. I said twice the size at first. I would say maybe 3 times scale, if not more. And with that many more people entering a hobby at once, it becomes a lot harder to realize what exactly the right price is to pay. You have all these people just all new, all hanging out together, all finding the cards, and they go, oh,
What's it say online?
It says 150.
Is that how much it cost?
I don't know. It's how much everybody's selling it that much for.
Okay, then that must be what it cost.
they don't know. So the very first thing I'm going to say to anyone entering the hobby at this time, or any hobby at any time, why am I not? Learn the MSRP of your items. Now, MSRP stands for Merchandiser Suggested Retail Price. I made myself very aware of this because I had bought products for certain prices and then started to see them go up. I had some semblance, some knowledge of what price I should be paying for certain items. So when I saw new items coming across my view that didn't match that price, I started to stop. I would go, wait, stop, think. Even with ADHD, I was able and capable to wait, stop, and think. Hold on. Let's not just buy this impulsively. Why is this ETB so much more expensive than what I know it should be? If I know it should be $50 or $60, I'm going to be less inclined to pay someone $120, $150 for something. All these new people coming in, they came in during this. They came in during people scalping. They didn't have the privilege of coming in to a hobby in a lull, in a downtime. Like I came in just before 2018. I was just buying everything off shelves. Sun and Moon Team Up, Cosmic Eclipse, Darkness Ablaze, Burning Shadows, but you know, all these great Sun and Moon sets that you see now that are like crazy. Booster box prices of like $1,000, $2,000, you know, getting up there. So these XY sets that you see that are like, you know, $2,000 to $4,000 a box, they were on store shelves. They were prevalent. I was buying them. It was beautiful. I was one of the last people to enjoy that time. Oh, sorry, I am sick by the way, so just drink a little lecturings here. So definitely, please, 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 if you're new, if everyone around you is new, get with some people who know what's up. Find a local card shop near you. Find a group online that isn't centered around buy and trade. Just try to talk to people, or just do the due diligence of Googling it. You know, if you search what merchandisers, suggested retail pricing is, search for the MSRP of items. It isn't that hard to find. So just do some work, make yourself knowledgeable about what you should be paying, so that you feel less inclined to give into the fear of missing out, FOMO, and get impatient and pay an exorbitant price to someone who then is going to be inclined to continue doing so. Because one of the main things that people don't think about is that, yeah, you're just paying this one guy, but that one guy is the problem. That one lady is the problem. If you pay the problem's going to stick around. If the problem sticks around, they're going to invite more people in, i.e. more problems in, to start selling you more of the problem. And if you keep paying the problems, they're going to stick around and bring more problems. And that is the problem we're in right now, is people have been impatient. Money has not been a factor for them. It has not hurt their wallets, and they've not been considerate about the time of other people who don't have the time to hunt retail, and the smaller wallets of people who are not as fortunate as you financially, to not have to worry about, oh, it's $150 box, whatever. I make however much money a year. I'm pretty comfortable. I have everything very steady, and I'm gonna pay this price. Enough people like that, that price becomes permanent, and then it starts creeping up, because any seller who is already taking advantage of you is going to see how much they can take you for. If you allow yourself to be taken advantage of price-wise, that price will keep going up until you say no. Until you advocate for yourself and stop paying a price, the seller is going to keep pushing it up. So you need to advocate for yourself in the form of not buying. Do not pay the scalpers, because paying the scalpers, it is a two-factor situation. In a scalper situation, it is not just one way. There's the scalper and there's the scalpee. Now the scalpee is also at fault, and you need to consider your own actions. As a scalpee, if you were someone paying exorbitant prices, you were the problem. Even if it doesn't hurt your wallet, and it's not a problem for you, you're making it a problem for everybody in the hobby around. Now, if the majority of the hobby does not have as big a wallet as you, which, I mean, let's just say, yeah, they don't have as big a wallet as you, because that's just normal. The majority of people don't have that much money. What happens if they leave the hobby and it's just an investment for you because you just have big wallet? What if there's no more buyers? What if you have nobody who can afford to rip new product and you can't even find the cards you want? What then? What happens to the hobby you love then? Or what happens to the investment opportunity you see then in other people who no longer love the hobby that you tried to make money off of? If you go too hard in the paint as a scalper, now I'm talking to the scalpers. If you go too hard, you fly too close to the sun, you'll burn those wings up. But it's going to happen more so in the sense that you're going to kill an entire industry and go broke doing so. That sound fun for you? I don't think so. So let's consider our own actions on both ends. Do not scalp. Do not pay scalpers. If you're buying your cards, make sure you're buying them from a card shop or another reputable card seller. Someone who's been doing it, has a lot of good reviews, someone who cares about the cards. Don't just go on Facebook Marketplace. No.
150 in hand. Struck 3 and it's just 120 in hand. And then 110 spool.
Like, nah. They need the money, and you need to let them feel the weight of their consequences. Do not pay them. If they needed money, they shouldn't have been trying to make money off the backs of our hobby. It's a cold world. If this one's for the scalpers who are like,
oh, well, I needed money and I had no other way to make money, so I saw a way to make money.
I'm like, no, you saw a way to flip money. You saw a gamble, a risk. You took a risk, and when you take that risk, you take all of the risk. You absorb that. That is not anyone else's problem to come and save you because you had money that you spent on stuff in hopes to sell it without proof that you could sell it, without buyers ready. That's not smart business. Sorry, you gotta take the hit. You gotta take the L. You tried to dabble in something based off a tip without any knowledge, and you took a risk without any knowledge. That just sounds like you failed, and you'll learn. Hopefully you'll get better next time, and it ain't a life or death situation that cardboard could put you in. I should just buy some singles for deck building. Of course, the pack ripping, that is another one, and it's a harder one to talk about because I am afflicted with it as well. Oh, and also just other things Here, let's get into other things first. Let's do other things, and then we'll come back to pack ripping. Another problem is, for the people who are legitimately interested in the cards, like actually just are here for the cards, you love the cards, and you're not flipping and reselling, even if you're not playing, it's like, that's fine if you're not playing. I would like everybody to play, but if you're not playing, that's fine. But like, for the people who are actually in it for the love of the cards, who enjoy the artwork, who enjoy the game, who enjoy collecting, who enjoy trading with their friends and filling the missing pieces that they need in their collections, for the people who enjoy that, you also have to think about your time investment. Not just the money, the time. I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, but like, I've been in this for a while now. As I said, started getting back into buying packs in 2018 after playing Magic a little bit, and started playing probably during the lockdown or just before. And during that time, I found myself rapidly just obsessed, like absolutely obsessed with the Pokemon trading card game, with playing it, with collecting it, with ripping. It was all I did. And the thing is, I didn't used to be a one-trick pony. I used to do a lot of stuff. Like, I used to fill my days hopping from hobby to hobby, task to task, skill to skill, creative goal to creative goal, trying to learn different things. And when I found Pokemon, for some reason, more so than even Magic, it took all of me. Especially when the boom happened and I started having to hunt for my cards. Like, having to hunter-gatherer mentality, your hobby, it really kind of drills it into your brain as priority. And so after a while, the longer you're in a card hobby like this, you start to narrow your focus on just the cards. Like, if you're not after life stuff and then personal relationships, the next priority for me, and I think for most people involved in card hobbies, became the cards. And I just want to remind everybody, before you found the cards, did you do other things? I know I did. I did other things. I played guitar, which I had to stop because of issues with my hands. And so I still play, but here, a little bit. Just musical instruments. I liked writing poems and books, and I wanted to write stories. I wanted to make movies. I liked recording little videos and editing things, and even still through making the channel, that kind of came back in with the cards. I've combined those priorities somewhat, but the cards still, more so than anything, just cloud entire views to where it's the only important thing. So the next point is other things. Please remember to do other things, because if you only do Pokemon, then that is also hurting the demand for Pokemon. Please remember that we are vastly wide beings with other things to offer our hobbies, our fellow hobbyists, other than just cards. We can trade knowledge. You know how many times I've found someone in the community who had a particular career field or something that was advantageous to me to have access to, or something else, or maybe knowledge that I've had that have helped other people. If you let your other abilities, talents just die off, then what do you have to offer back to your hobby that has offered you so much from the joy from these cards? What do you have to give back to the people around you? Share a song, draw a picture, write a story or a poem. Don't forget to do the other things that are creatively expressive from yourself, or even just enriching to your own self, like reading a book. Like, do not let the cards become everything. Because, and that leads to the next point. That heavily has to do with another part of the hobby, which is pack ripping, which is the aspect that everybody kind of wants to not talk about, which is gambling. This hobby is a gambler's hobby. There's legitimately a Pokemon card called Gambling. It's just a dice roll. All right, you're opening a pack and you don't know what's inside. It could be something, it could be nothing, but you're taking a chance. You're just experiencing the thrill of the chase, hoping to God, to Arceus of Arceus, sorry for the people in the comments, already going to type in the comments. You're hoping that you, out of whatever 1,000 the pull rates are the one lucky person who's gonna pull that expensive card that you can't afford to buy, or otherwise that you just don't want to buy up front. That is a dangerous thought to have. Sidestepping the idea of how vain it is and how just like, oh, I'm the person who's lucky enough to get this. That's not a healthy viewpoint to have either. But just that sheer risk taking is sort of looked at in this hobby far too fondly. It's kind of bad, let's say, to have someone holding an item that they know risk-wise is 90% loss. And even within that 10%, 9% of that is barely breaking even. And so there's only a 1% win because, you pretty much, if you don't pull that one card or those two other ones that are kind of close to that one, you're just losing hundreds of dollars. Does that sound wise to anyone else in any other situation to do? We can't afford to do that with the big packs. So we take that mentality with the modern and we just rip for everything. And there's some people who make it a part of their hobby. They make it the hobby for themselves. Let's keep that in mind. They make it the hobby for themselves to pull every card. I have to complete my master set and I have to pull every card. That's dangerous. Even that, because some people are like, I'll pull the card and if I pull the card then I can sell it and then I'll make my money back. That's also dangerous, but at least they have a plan to recoup some loss. For the people who are just ripping to pull every single card, that's an even harder kind of gambler mentality to tackle, because it's a mentality that can't be argued with monetarily, because that's just how they hunt. That's just how it is. There is no, I wish I could save money. It's like, no, I'm gonna pull all these cards, and they won't break until they pull them all. These type of mentalities inside of a hobby built around risk are dangerous for people. And so I'll say straight up, if you're here now and you came in on this boot, you came in on the last boot, you gotta control it. You can't just rip. Ripping is gambling. Imagine if you walked into a casino and someone said play the slot machine and you just pulled the thing and you kept losing. At some point, wouldn't you stop putting something inside that slot machine without any return? Yeah. Now the problem with the packs is there's some return. You're getting cards, and even if you don't get a big card, sometimes you'll get something. And maybe that something is worth something, but it ain't worth something enough to keep ripping and ripping and ripping. So you'll get these tiny, tiny rewards that'll feed you for a moment, but they don't satiate the need for what you're chasing for. So you just keep ripping, and you dig yourself in bigger pits and bigger traps, just ripping. And I think at some point we really gotta approach kind of talking about that as a problem, because it really is. We can't rip everything all the time. Sometimes you gotta keep it sealed. I don't want to implicate DPM as a problem, because he is implicating keeping it sealed. But more often than not, we are seeing that man rip some expensive packs. Besides those points, I really enjoy the Pokemon hobby. I enjoy all card hobbies. With how hard cards have been to find, I have recently been ripping other products. Like I've said, I've been playing other games, and if Pokemon does not settle down, I'm hedging my bets so that I can enjoy myself playing cards however I need to. And the other sad fact is that, Pokemon, honestly, the player base ain't that big. The chances of me bumping into somebody who plays One Piece, buying One Piece in a store, is exponentially greater than bumping into somebody who plays Pokemon buying Pokemon in the store. Anyways, I don't know if I made any sense during this video, but I'm gonna wrap this thing up. I'm still feeling under the weather, trying to decide if I'm gonna go to work today. I probably will. Have a good day. I appreciate the carp out of you, and to all my members, appreciate you. To the Dittos and Kiddos and the Gang. Thank you very much for your continued support. Continue to be patient. Reprints are on the way. Do not pay the scalpers. Play the game. If you have a gambling problem, address it. And don't rip too much. Control yourselves. You know, you don't gotta just rip. Go buy some singles. It's okay to buy a single. All right, bye.